Welcome. This is Black Tracks representing, kind of showing you a little bit about Reason Record. If you've ever used Reason before, it's a no-brainer. It's real simple to learn if you know Reason. The interface is pretty much the same. One of the things that is the biggest difference is this mixing console that's based off the SSL 9000K mixing console. I love this thing. One unique thing about Reason, or more or less Record, is that it's broken down into three windows. This window, which is the mix window up under F5, F6, which is your rack window, which lets you see all of your plugins and audio channels and mix channels, and F7, which is your sequencer window. If you do any combination of the two, which would be F6 and F7, it would give you the sequencer and the rack window. If you do F5 and F6, it would give you the mixer and the rack window. If you do F6, F7, and F5, you get all three. I stick in F5 because I like sitting behind an SSL console, especially the 9000K. Most people that have used Reason know about the 14.2 mixer, which is based off the Mackie 1604. I've made some really good mixes off that thing, but there's nothing compared to an SSL console. So if they've made an emulation, it's best to use that. This session that I have set up, I have a lot of brass instruments that are all over the place that kind of need to be mixed a little bit together and leveled out a little bit better. So in order to control those things just a little bit better, I'm going to put them in a group. If you've used Reason, you can toggle between the backs of the rack, so you can plug everything in like you would real world. But Record is set up a little different, where you don't toggle between this. In order to see the back of the mixer, you have to be in the rack window. And in the rack window, you're able to see your master section, any of your plugins that you may have had on that track, as well as all of your audio. And if you have a mixer channel set up, and a mixer channel will probably have something like an ID8 going into it, which ID8 is the sound module that comes with Record. Sounds really, really good. Let's go ahead and toggle back to that. Yeah. Now, I'll show you something real unique about the back of this. This right here is one of my audio channels, the last one, Brass 7. Audio channels have direct outputs, which can be broken to kill the signal that will be coming out of the mixer channel. So you can break that channel by routing this into another mixer channel or different things like that. Also, you have CV controls for side chaining, and you have a direct out. But if you're side chaining into a compressor or something for gating effects, you also have a program control that if you've set up of insert effects or different things like that through side chaining or whatever, you can control the CV on how to control the parameters in those modules, just like you would a combinator in Reason. You also have insert effects that you can have per channel or track that you can plug in, if you need like dynamics, compressors, EQs, guitar effects. You can also do those as sends, but if you want to do something directly on the channel or track, you can. There are no inputs on audio tracks because these are probably things you've recorded live into it, or things you stemmed out from other programs that you've dropped into this program. Now, if you notice the name Mix Channel, which is very similar to the audio track, the mix channel has everything that the audio track has, except it has inputs, which allows things like the ID8 to be plugged directly into it, or modules from Reason to be plugged into it. But you also can use this for routing, which is what we're going to do Now, to set up a group for all these brass, what we're going to do is we're going to create one mixer channel. And in that mixer channel, we're going to go into the Show Insert Effects. We're going to click till we see red. And then we're going to create the infamous 14.2 mixing console. If anybody's seen this out of Reason, or if you've seen the Mackie 1604, you're familiar with it, with the two-band EQ, you know, left and right, real short throw faders. It was really good for mixing in Reason and making some real good stuff off of this, but nothing compares to that SSL console. So now I'm just using this mainly as a sub mixer. So what we would do is we would come directly out of my first brass channel, and what you'll notice is when you drag down a cable, it puts it directly on that first channel. Now this is actually in stereo because it was left and right, so it'll be left and right mix coming on that first channel. But I'm old school. I kind of like the fuller sound, and what I would do is I would put 1 and 2 on their own tracks, so that way it'd be hard left, hard right, to give me the full stereo mix that I need, because I've panned it already in on the SSL console, so the placements will be where I need it to be, but the full sound I would need coming out of the subgroup is what I want to set up. So I will go ahead and set up the subgroup. Do all the channels the same way. It'll be hard left, hard right. And whatever you do, never plug that last trail on, which would be the mix channel, in, because you'll get a double feedback, which would be lovely. Hard left, hard right, hard left, hard right, hard right, hard left, hard right. And one more to go. And then you would see that when I began my mix, I would be able to see all of my mix here in that sub mixer, but I would have control over here on the sub channel for all these. Now if you noticed, the sounds are still playing here, but you can't hear anything because those channels have now been killed. But they're now in my subgroup, which allows me to have more control in my mix. So I hope this tutorial helped out a little bit, to show you a little bit about how to do subgroups in Reason's Record.